Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm and tonight we're doing something a little different. Usually we're all about having a good time, but sometimes you see things that really make you stop and think. That's what tonight is about. We've put together a look at some of the most unbelievable, most tragic car crashes from this past month. I know, this is a tough topic, it's not easy to watch. Seeing this really hits home how important it is to be safe on the roads. Now before we get into it, I'm being super serious. Some of the footage you're about to see is pretty graphic. It's intense. Viewer discretion is definitely advised. We're not showing this for shock value. The goal is to learn, to see what can happen in a split second, and to remind ourselves of the responsibility we have when driving. It's about looking out for each other. So take a deep breath. We're watching to hopefully prevent this from happening again. It's about awareness. Remember, a car isn't a toy. Make sure we all get home safe to our families. So let's take a look. And please remember the lessons here. Let's get into it. Alright, first up, we have this scene from a major highway. You can see it's a pretty normal day. Cars moving, a little bit of traffic, nothing crazy. You know the vibe. You're listening to the radio, thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner. Maybe you're on your way home from work. Everyone's just in their own little world, cruising along. You feel like you're in a protective bubble, just another car in a long line. It's routine, autopilot. You've driven this stretch 1,000 times, then you see it, way up ahead. One car hits the brakes, hard, maybe they were texting, maybe they dropped something, but that one little tap, the first domino, the car behind reacts a second too late, and bam, impact. It doesn't stop there. On a highway at speed, there's no time to think. Pure reaction, not just 2 cars, 3, 4, 10, screeching tires, crunching metal, cars swerving, nowhere to go, vehicles getting pinned in. A horrifying, chaotic chain reaction, a complete mess, smoke rising, debris flying everywhere, a real-life nightmare in fast forward, and it started with one tiny mistake. Okay, this next one. Wow, it's tough to watch. The camera here is from a car just driving along on a rainy night. You can see the wipers are going full blast, the headlights are cutting through the darkness, but the road is just soaked. It's glistening under the streetlights, which looks kinda pretty, but it's actually incredibly dangerous. That's not just water, that's a recipe for hydroplaning. It's that feeling where your tires lose their grip on the pavement and you're suddenly just sliding. It's terrifying, and that's exactly what happens to the car up ahead. It's a dark-colored sedan just cruising along, seemingly minding its own business. They don't seem to be going excessively fast, but on a road this wet, your definition of fast has to change completely. Suddenly you see the back end of the car just twitch. It kicks out to the side just a little bit at first. The driver tries to correct it, you can tell. They steer into the skid like you're supposed to, but it's too late. The car goes into a full, uncontrollable spin. It's like a top, just pirouetting across the lanes of traffic. It's so fast and so violent. 1 second it's facing forward, the next it's completely backward, then sideways. The headlights are just slicing through the rain in these wild, chaotic arcs. You're just holding your breath watching it, knowing there's nothing that can be done. The laws of physics have taken over completely. The driver is no longer a driver, they're a passenger in a metal box that's out of control. And then, the impact. The car slams sideways into the guardrail. The crash is just brutal. Alright, this next clip is intense. It's from a police dashcam during a high-speed chase. You see these on TV and think it's a video game, but this is real life. The stakes are as high as they get. The suspect's car is weaving through traffic at insane speeds. They're flying, treating other cars like obstacles. Moms, dads, kids just trying to get somewhere. Unbelievably selfish and reckless. Police in pursuit, sirens blaring, lights flashing. Officers trying to stop them before someone gets hurt, but the driver won't pull over. Crazy, aggressive lane changes, cutting people off, driving on the shoulder. Tension ratchets up. Every second the danger increases. It's a ticking time bomb. You're waiting for it to go off. And then it does. The driver tries to squeeze through a gap that isn't there. They clip the back of a minivan. At that speed, that's all it takes. Suspect's car sent into a violent spin into oncoming traffic. Chaos, multi-car crash. The minivan loses control, swerving across the road. A miracle more cars weren't involved. Direct consequence of one person's decision to flee. The chase ends in a cloud of smoke and shattered glass. The suspect's car is destroyed, innocent people are involved. Fleeing from police is never the answer. It endangers you. It endangers the officers. It endangers everyone on the road. You can't outrun the consequences. This video is a gut-wrenching lesson. Pull over, it's not worth the price. Okay, let's look at this next one. This is from a security camera overlooking a busy intersection. It's broad daylight, the weather is clear, It's just a totally normal afternoon. You see cars stopping at the red light, you see pedestrians crossing in the crosswalk. It's the kind of scene you see a million times a day. Everything is flowing just the way it's supposed to. It's organized, it's orderly. Or at least it's supposed to be. The light for the cross traffic turns green. Cars start to move forward, entering the intersection. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They have the right of way. But look at the other direction. You see a white SUV. It's not slowing down. The light is clearly red for them. They are barreling towards the intersection. Maybe the driver's on their phone. Maybe they're distracted by something in the car. Maybe they thought they could make it. And then it happens. The SUV blasts through the red light. It hits a small blue sedan that was just starting to cross. The impact is sickening. It's a T-bone collision, one of the most dangerous types. The sedan had no chance. The driver couldn't have seen it coming. One moment they're pulling away from a green light. The next, everything's violently turned upside down. It's horrifying to watch. The crash sends both cars spinning into other vehicles waiting at the light. A chain reaction unfolds. All because one driver ignored the rules. A red light means stop. It's not a suggestion. It's a rule that keeps us all safe. This footage is a brutal reminder. This next piece of footage is from a dashcam on a winding two-lane road. You know the type. Fun to drive if you're being careful, with lots of curves and nice scenery. But those curves can be deceptive, especially if you're going too fast. And the car we're about to see is definitely going too fast. You can see it in the distance, a sports car coming up quick. They're passing other cars, really pushing the limits of the road. They come into this sharp turn, a turn that probably has a sign suggesting a much lower speed, but this driver, they ignore it. They try to take the corner at a speed the car's tires and suspension can't handle. You see the car start to lean heavily. The tires are squealing, struggling to keep their grip on the asphalt. The driver is losing the battle with physics, and you know this isn't going to end well. It's that heart-in-your-throat moment. The mistake happens in slow motion. And then, the car loses it. The back end slides out, and the driver overcorrects. The car whips back the other way. The tires on one side dig into the soft shoulder of the road. That's the trigger. The car is immediately launched into the air, and it begins to roll. It's not like in the movies, it's violent and chaotic. It rolls over once, it rolls over twice, it rolls over 3 times, shedding parts and glass with each terrifying rotation. It's just a blur of tumbling metal. The car finally comes to a rest on its roof. A mangled wreck. This is where we have to talk about seatbelts. In a crash like this, a rollover, a seatbelt is the single most important thing that can save your life. It's what keeps you secured inside the vehicle's safety cage, instead of being thrown around the cabin, or even worse, ejected from the car. This is a terrifying example of what happens when speed and sharp turns mix. It's a brutal lesson on respecting the road and wearing your seatbelt every single time. This one is really hard to watch. And it serves as a critical reminder that road safety isn't just about the people inside the cars. This is from a storefront security camera, looking out at a crosswalk in a busy downtown area. It's the middle of the day. You see people walking, shopping, just going about their business. A pedestrian, you can see them right there, is waiting for the signal. The little walking man symbol lights up, and they start to cross the street, right in the crosswalk. They are doing everything right. Now, look at the traffic. A car is approaching the intersection, and they're making a right turn. The driver seems to be looking left, checking for oncoming cars before they make their turn. They're so focused on the other vehicles that they don't see what's directly in front of them. They're not looking for people. They're looking for cars. It's a classic case of tunnel vision, and it's about to have devastating consequences. The pedestrian is already in the middle of the crosswalk. The car continues its turn, not slowing down, and drives directly into the pedestrian. It's a shocking, awful moment. The person had no time to react. They had the right of way. They were following the rules. They trusted that the driver would see them. And in that moment, that trust was broken. It's a collision that happens at a relatively low speed, but it doesn't matter. For a human body versus a 2-ton vehicle, any speed is dangerous. This is a two-way street of responsibility. As drivers, we have to be hyper-vigilant, especially at intersections and crosswalks. Always look for pedestrians, look twice, but as pedestrians we also have to be careful. Never assume a driver sees you. Try to make eye contact. Put the phone away when you're crossing the street. This tragic clip shows that both drivers and pedestrians need to be completely aware of their surroundings at all times to prevent something like this from ever happening. Okay, this clip is another highway scene, but it shows something different. It shows how one single moment of inattention can create a massive sprawling catastrophe. The video is from a truck's high-mounted dashcam, so we get a really clear view of the traffic ahead. It's dense, it's stop and go, the kind of traffic that drives everyone crazy. You're inching forward, hitting the brakes, inching forward again. It's frustrating, and that frustration can make people lose focus. You can see the brake lights flashing up ahead in a wave. The red lights travel backward from car to car as everyone slows down. It's a normal part of driving in congestion. But watch this one car, a few vehicles in front of our camera truck. For some reason they don't react. Maybe they were looking at their GPS, maybe they were changing the radio station. Whatever it was, they were distracted for just 1 or 2 critical seconds. And in this kind of traffic, 1 or 2 seconds is an eternity. They slam into the back of the car in front of them. It's a hard hit, but that's just the beginning. The car that got rear-ended is pushed forward into the car in front of it, and the car that caused the crash is then hit from behind by another car that couldn't stop in time. Suddenly, what should have been a simple slowdown has turned into a 4-car pileup, 5-car pileup, 6-car pileup, right in the middle lane of the freeway. It's like watching a horrifying ripple effect in real time. All traffic comes to a screeching halt. People are getting out of their cars. You can see the confusion and the shock, and it all stemmed from that one initial impact. It highlights how connected we all are on the road, especially on a crowded freeway. Your actions directly impact a dozen other drivers around you. You have to stay locked in, focused, and maintain a safe following distance, even in slow traffic. Because one mistake doesn't just affect one person, it can create a disaster for everyone. I'm going to warn you, this next video is incredibly disturbing. It should be. It shows the devastating reality of what happens when someone chooses to drive drunk. The footage comes from a police dashcam. Officer on routine patrol on a dark 2-lane road at night. Quiet, peaceful. The cruiser is just driving along, monitoring the road. Everything seems normal. Then, headlights appear in the officer's lane. They're coming straight at him. A car is driving the wrong way. The driver is catastrophically impaired. No swerving, no attempt to correct. Heading straight for a head-on. The officer has milliseconds to react. The police car swerves violently right, narrowly avoids impact. An unbelievable save. But the wrong-way car keeps going, wrong lane. Seconds later it's in the rear view. The car behind the cruiser wasn't so lucky. A bright flash of light, the sickening crash, then darkness. The drunk driver crashed head-on into an innocent person who was just driving home. Someone with no idea their life was about to be changed forever. The ugliest, most preventable crash there is. Driving under the influence is not an accident, it's a choice. A selfish, reckless choice that endangers countless innocents. There is never an excuse. Call a friend, call a cab, call a rideshare, do anything but drive. This footage isn't just a crash, it's a crime scene. A permanent, painful reminder of the devastation drunk driving leaves behind. This next one is just eerie. The dashcam is from a car driving in extremely dense fog. And when I say dense, I mean you can barely see the hood of your own car. It's like driving through a glass of milk. Your whole world just shrinks down to this tiny bubble of visibility right in front of your headlights. It's disorienting and incredibly stressful. Every shadow looks like it could be a stalled car or an animal on the road. The driver in this video is doing the right thing. They're going very slowly. You can see their speedometer and they're crawling along. They have their fog lights on, trying to cut through the haze as much as possible. But in conditions like this, even going slow can be too fast. Your ability to react to a hazard is almost zero because by the time you see it, you're already on top of it. It's one of the most dangerous driving conditions you can face. Suddenly, a shape materializes out of the white nothingness. It's the back of a large truck. It's completely stopped in the lane. There are no lights on, no hazard signals, nothing. It's just a massive dark wall that appears out of nowhere. The driver with the dash cam has absolutely no time to stop. They slam on the brakes, and you hear the tires lock up and screech, but it's pointless. The distance is just too short. The impact is inevitable. The car plows into the back of the stopped truck. It's a jarring, brutal crash that you never see coming. This is a terrifying illustration of the dangers of low visibility. When you're in fog this thick, you have to slow down to a crawl. And if it's really bad, the safest thing to do is to pull over, get as far off the road as you can, turn off your driving lights, but keep your hazards on, and just wait it out. Your destination is not worth risking your life by driving blind. This last clip is a tough one, and it hits close to home for any parent. It's from a car full of teenagers, and one of them is filming on their phone. They're laughing, listening to loud music, having a good time. It's a scene we all recognize from our own youth. That feeling of freedom out with your friends, no particular place to go. There's a sense of invincibility that comes with being young. The driver, also a teenager, getting caught up in the energy of the car. A little faster, a little more recklessly showing off for their friends. Someone gets nervous, telling them to slow down, but it's laughed off. They're young, inexperienced, don't grasp the power and danger. Not focused on the road, focused on the fun inside the car. They approach a curve too fast, driver panics, jerks the wheel, and the car starts to skid. The laughter in the car immediately turns to screams. That carefree, joyful atmosphere vanishes in an instant, replaced by pure terror. The phone camera spins wildly, capturing a horrifying, chaotic blur of the sky, capturing a horrifying, chaotic blur of the ground as the car veers off the road. The video cuts out at the moment of impact. It's a heartbreaking look at how inexperience and distraction can lead to tragedy. For new drivers, the first few years on the road are the most dangerous. It's so important to build experience slowly, to resist peer pressure, and to understand that a car is not a playground. This video should be a mandatory watch for every new driver. It's a devastating final lesson on the immense responsibility that comes with a driver's license. Wow, that was a lot. It's really heavy stuff, and I know it's not easy to sit through, but thank you for watching. Seeing these moments, as tragic as they are, is so incredibly important. Every single one of these crashes was preventable. Every one. They were caused by distraction, by speed, by bad decisions, by not respecting the road or the conditions. It really hammers home the fact that every time we start our car, we need to be 100% focused on the task of driving. The people in your car are counting on you. The people in the cars around you are counting on you. The goal here isn't to scare you, it's to create awareness. Think twice before we look at our phone, before we push the speed limit, before we get behind the wheel after a drink. If watching this makes just one person slow down, or put their phone in the back seat, then this video has done its job. Please, if you think this message is important, share this video with the people you care about, share it with a new driver, a friend, a family member. Let's spread this awareness as far as we can. Thank you again for sticking with me through this. Let's all make a promise to each other to be safer, more responsible drivers. Let's look out for one another out there. Remember to subscribe for more content, and please, leave a comment below about what road safety means to you. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.